Today, mortgage rates blew past 7% and are going up. I might have the answer. Check us out. That articles on rents, and again, more articles from Jeff Bezos on what he thinks the economy's doing, all today on Real Estate Daily. Welcome, everyone. My name is Troy, and every day we go over the latest news in real estate, housing, and the mortgage market. I know it's not been a fantastic day today or a fantastic week, but we're going to get into the numbers, dive in, and check out what really is happening out there. But before we all do that, let's go hit that subscribe button. Bingo. And then let's hit that like button. It adds so much more to the algorithm at YouTube here. And let's get this out and viewed by many people. All right, let's jump right into it. Now, before I get into the 7% plus rates that are out there in some of the articles, we're seeing a lot of negativity in the media over the housing market. And I think it has a narrative out there. If you really look at the housing market, especially in Southern California, is strong. There are multiple offers out there on properties that are in good condition. Now, if you have a property that you're looking at that absolutely needs work, well, guess what? We have multiple offers on it, but they're significantly lower than what the market shows. So, for an example, if I looked at a $1 million home that the market's at $1 million, two houses that are listed at $1 million, one that's fixed up, it will sell for a little over $1 million. The other house that needs work, maybe it needs a new kitchen, some flooring. Well, those homes are going for $950,000 to $900,000, and that's why. And it's a multiple offers on the way down. It's like catching a falling knife, but there's multiple offers on that knife going down. So it makes it really interesting. There's not a lack of buyers out there, as I see, definitely in Orange County and definitely in other areas throughout Southern California. It's just what buyers' sentiment is, and it's because that's related directly to the national media that keeps looking at national numbers and doesn't have that macro down here in Southern California. So let's jump into CNBC. My girlfriend here, or my ex-girlfriend, since we're going to break up here sooner or later, Diana Olick says mortgage rates on 30-year fixed loans soared to 7.22%. I think that we all had that hangover, Wall Street and the crypto markets. When the CPI number came out last week, the market just went straight down right before it because we were told that it was going to be a terrible number. Then when the number came out and a few analysts looked at it, the stock market just bounced off and shot straight up. We saw the crypto market kind of float up as well. And everyone got punch drunk off of that at the party, right? They started drinking the Kool-Aid. Hey, there's a chance that the Fed might be lowering or pivoting somewhere in the future. So what's happened in the last 3 or 4 sessions, couple days in the last week, couple days at the beginning of this week, they were drunk at the party. And then all of a sudden you wake up and what do you have? You got it, a hangover. And the hangover hit today. The stock market is just kind of flat at the time of this recording, but it's starting to inhale what's happening on the bond market. And the bond market is really going to hedge this right now on what's going to happen in the future, in the near future. Mortgage rates shot up. It's something the Fed has been very, very much talking about. They want to get the interest rates down. They want to get the inflation rate down. Interest rates are going up. It's collateral damage. The housing market's the first to get smacked around. It's happening. But what's not getting smacked around? Well, if you look back at the quarterly profits or earnings that are happening with all these big companies, well, this week so far, it's been fantastic. The expectations were lowered so much that companies are coming in and they are absolutely beating expectations, and Wall Street is celebrating right now. And the job market is strong. So with all those being said, everyone's calling for the Fed to slow down or even pivot. But there's no reason to pivot. We don't see a reason to pivot. They want a strong dollar. They want a strong, they want economy to slow down, and they want people to put their money in savings and not spend it. And that's what we're seeing out there. We're seeing people putting money in in savings, but we're going to see what's going to happen in the next 65 to 75 days before Christmas. Is it going to be a boom or a bust Christmas? The Fed is going to tell us on November 1st or 2nd whether we're going to raise the interest rates 0.75 basis points. Where it's going to be a big thing that's going to happen right before the elections. We're going to find out if it's at 75 basis points, and the market now is starting to price it in as of today. That's what we're seeing today. If they're going to price it in today, then we know that 75 basis points should be it. But if the government gets to them and the elections are coming right up and they come in at half a 0.5%, the stock market's going to rejoice. They're going to say, hey, we won. They're going to pivot somewhere in the future. This is going to be a very interesting day, somewhere right after Halloween. Next article. Something I went over yesterday was rents, and I saw that Redfin came out and they said, hey, rents are declining year over year down to 8%. Well, I always say that Redfin is such macro into our industry. How many Redfin agents are out there, and how are they looking at all these numbers? So they go off of a lot of it is what Redfin agents are doing. Redfin agents are nowhere. I very rarely rarely ever see them, and they rarely ever do any business, okay? They're such a small part of our business. I'd love to see Redfin agents to all agents in the United States. It's way under 10%. It's way under 5%. It's nothing, but they keep coming out with these numbers, and these numbers are not accurate. I've said it many times. So let's look at this. Rent growth decelerates for the 4th consecutive month. CoreLogic released its latest single-family rent index, analyzing the latest figures on rent growth. Well, they're coming in and saying, yes, it's gone down from, let's call it 15%. It's gone from 15% down to 11.4. So what does that mean? So last year to this year, rents went up 11.4%. That's enormous, guys. That's over 10%. People are still freaking out. There's just not enough rentals out there, and we're going to continue to see rents go up. Now, the government even has a lesser number than that for shelter, which is ridiculous. But I believe in CoreLogic. They are the leader in real estate and analysis and statistics. 11.4 is really what is actually happening. I will take that number all day. Now, this is not even taking into consideration that there are several huge cities across the United States that have rent control and rent freezes on right now. So we haven't even seen in the city of Los Angeles any kind of rent increase in the last, almost 36 months. And so with that being said, we don't even know what this real number is. It's going to be much higher when we look at rents being increased in major cities that have really been freezing rents now for such a long time. Next article here, we've said it. It's been Jamie Dimon from JP Morgan. Now it's Jeff Bezos. These guys are the most vocal, I think, out there about how poorly that our current administration has done. It says Jeff Bezos is the latest to warn on the economy, saying it's batten down the hatches. And so here's a couple key points. It says Amazon founder Jeff Bezos has become the latest corporate leader to warn about the state of economy, cautioning that rougher times are ahead. And then a second one is, the probabilities of the economy telling you to batten down the hatches, says Bezos in a comment related to Goldman Sachs CEO David Solomon's interview. I mean, everybody's coming out and saying the same thing. They see it coming. It's not like it's tough. I really feel that the next 90 to 180 days, which is 3 to 6 months, we're going to see a real big pullback in the stock market. We're going to see inflation numbers go out of control, and we're going to see layoffs start to really affect what's happening. And then hopefully somewhere in there, the Fed might freeze rates. But more importantly, I think the Fed is going to start printing money again. So they're going to be quantitative easing versus quantitative tightening like they've been doing, because it's so harmful, and they don't want to break down. They don't want to break down the economy so badly that we get into a depression. There's no question. We're in a recession, but we're in a very interesting recession because people are still spending and we still have we have low unemployment. So let's jump into the next two articles. It's very interesting. It says housing market deteriorates as September housing starts permits miss expectations. I talked about this yesterday. This is such a small sector of the real estate market. The builders. I don't care what the builders do. The builders only care for profit. If you have to sell a house, you have to sell a house. If you want to flip a house, you don't hold on to the house, right? You flip it. You buy a house, you turn around, fix it up, and then you flip it. The housing market's deteriorating. No, the builder's market is deteriorating. So Rick Santelli, please break this out. I hate that they continue to go FUD the entire housing market over 8% of what the housing market is. It's ridiculous. So let's go jump into the next one. Same thing, housing starts slide, but there is reasons for optimism. Guys, this is from Housing Wire. What this does, it talks about is, yes, we continue to see the new builders deteriorate. Yes, why? Because they only care profit. I can't say it enough. I'll say it every single day. If we keep looking at articles about the housing market is in a recession because the new builders, who are 8% of the entire market, are having a hard time, boo-hoo-hoo, I don't care, okay? What is happening now is we're coming back down to the real reality that builders have to sell their homes for reality prices and not for wildly profitable prices. And this is the optimism we're seeing in this article. They're finishing their homes out quicker now because they're not doing building starts. So more of the workforce is now focusing in on finishing the properties. It's a better deal out there for buyers. It's a better, now all of a sudden, now they're knocking on my door and all the other agent stores and say, hey, bring your buyers to us. They get past the 90-page purchase agreement that they've been sliding right past every single buyer that isn't represented by an agent that they don't pay anything to. Builder pays for the buyer. The builder pays for the buyer's agent, and they put our commissions to zero because they don't want any buyer out there to be represented. They'll tell you, but they don't want buyers to be represented. They want you to figure out what a 90-page, a purchase contract looks like, and all the little poison pills that they drop in there. So things are changing. We're seeing it. We're happy. I'm glad that we're starting to see better articles out there, more that represent the market than the FUD that's out there from CNBC telling you that the world is caving in. Next article, and this is yesterday as of 5 p.m. These are the rates. We're looking at basically 30-year conforming is flat, but we know that it jetted up today. 30-year FHA is flat. Everything pretty much was flat yesterday. It was still in that, we're at the party. It's getting late. I got to go home and rest because I want that party to happen again this weekend. Guess what? They woke up today and there's going to be a big, massive hangover. Rates are jumping. The reality setting in that the Fed in 2 weeks are going to raise rates by 75 basis points. Well, guys, thank you very much for joining me today. I know that I'm not all about, the happy. There is doom and gloom in it coming up here. We saw it today, but I always tell my clients, there's no better time to buy a house than right now. If you go look at a smart lender, they're looking at the 2-1 buy down. That means interest rates go down significantly and you have the seller pay for them. Instead of the seller reducing their price significantly, which has very little effect upon you, upon your payment, would you rather see them buy down the rate significantly for you? Absolutely. 2-1 buy down. Take a look at it. Talk to your mortgage lender. If he doesn't offer it, find one that is, or comment below. We deal with a lot of lenders that are all over that program and people are using it left and right. Well, guys, again, thank you very much, and I will see you tomorrow.